Hey there, and welcome back to Early Years Explorers, the podcast where tiny humans do the teaching and we just try to keep up. I'm Afaf Zaidan, your host, early childhood educator, and enthusiastic observer of messy moments, curious questions, and those magical light bulb looks that say, I just figured something out. Today's episode is one I know you'll love. We're calling it Why Play Matters, Learning in Disguise. And no, it's not because we're sneaking lessons into Lego towers or slipping literacy into the home corner, although truth be told, we kind of are. Hi, and thanks for joining me. In this first segment, I'm going to start off by getting one thing straight. The myth-busting moment that play is not just play. It's not a break, it's not a time filler, and it's definitely not what we do once the real learning is finished. I feel like I need to cue the dramatic eye roll for every time somebody says, all they do is play in preschool. Hello? That's the point? When children play, they're not wasting time. They're doing the real, deep, meaningful work of childhood. They're testing theories, building relationships, learning to self-regulate, and experimenting with cause and effect, all before their morning snack time. And this isn't just me getting passionate about this. It's actually backed by research. The Reggio Emilia approach reminds us that children are capable and competent learners who use 100 languages to explore their world, from art and construction to movement, storytelling, and dramatic play. Each of those expressions is a form of inquiry, and our role as educators is to listen, scaffold, and extend. Then there's the IB-PYP Early Years Framework, which echoes this, placing agency and inquiry at the centre of early learning. Through playful experiences, children engage with key concepts. They take ownership of their learning and connect their personal interests with broader ideas about how the world works. And let's not forget the Australian Council for Educational Research and Early Childhood Australia, which consistently highlights that play-based learning supports development across cognitive, emotional, and physical domains, laying the foundation for later academic success. So why are some people still questioning this? While adults are off writing emails and holding meetings, preschoolers are negotiating roles in dramatic play. They're solving puzzles, investigating shadows, and making their voices heard. Let's not diminish that by calling it just play. Let's recognize it and celebrate it as what it really is. It's learning in its richest, most authentic form, beautifully disguised as play. So this brings us to the next segment, the science of play. Like I said earlier, and I'll happily say it again, play isn't a break from learning. Play is the learning, and it touches every developmental domain. Let me break it down. Cognitive development? Absolutely. Play helps children solve problems, make predictions, and explore cause and effect. Ever watched a child figure out how many Legos fit in a dump truck? That's math. Spatial awareness, one-to-one correspondence, estimation, all hiding in plain sight. Language and communication? Totally. Play gives children a reason to talk, negotiate, take turns, and spin the wildest stories. And yes, those stories might involve dragons and babies and pizza with chocolate sauce. Because why not? Social emotional development? 100%. In pretend play, children learn empathy, cooperation, and how to handle big emotions, like when someone takes that dump truck in the sandpit. It's serious stuff. Physical development? Without a doubt. From crawling through tunnels to balancing on beams, jumping, hopping, and building forts. It's basically a mini Olympics. Now we've looked at the science. Let's zoom in on the magic, right there on the classroom floor. Let me tell you what learning in disguise looks like, because behind every block tower, tea party, or a rescue mission involving stuffed animals because the floor is lava. There's intentional, meaningful learning happening. Take our dramatic play area, for example. Right now, it's a mini market. Little shoppers with pretend fruit, little cashiers ringing up orders with more enthusiasm than a Black Friday sale. They may not be calculating profit margins just yet, but they're learning to manage resources. A basket that only has 3 apples because someone bought 2, that's subtraction. Trying to buy all the oranges with a single $1 note, welcome to budgeting. And when the shopkeeper tells the shoppers that carrots are suddenly free, yep, that's the chaos of economics in preschool. Just scratch the surface a little and you'll see this playful chaos is actually a well-oiled learning machine. At least for 30 glorious minutes or so, before the shopping trolley becomes a race car that's zooming around the class. That's the beauty of play. It's the freedom to explore, transform, and imagine. And in the process, they absorb complex learning without even realizing it. They're learning math, language, social skills, and problem solving, all while pretending to sell fruit. There's no tests, there's no worksheets, it's just pure engagement. So what's our job as educators? It's to notice it, document it, and build on it. Because with every laugh, costume change, and let's pretend moment is packed with potential. And while it might be invisible to the untrained eye, we see it all. Now this segment is a bit of a rant, but it's from the heart. So after 30 minutes of preschoolers running a surprisingly efficient market, complete with dramatic customer service and vanishing tomatoes, some adults still ask, but isn't it all just play? Here's your reminder. Play looks chaotic. It sounds loud. It might even smell like paint and banana. But don't be fooled. What looks like a mess of costumes and plastic fruit and veggies is in reality a symphony of purposeful learning, jam-packed with cognitive leaps, social negotiations, problem solving, creativity, all in real time. Play is not the thing we do before real learning starts. Like I said before, and I'll shout it from the rooftops if I have to, play is the real learning. And when we rush academics, when we swap the sandpit collaboration for silent desk work and children don't have the chance to play, to explore, or to create, or to test their ideas with freedom, we skip the most important foundation of all. And that foundation really matters, because without it, children may struggle later on with problem solving, resilience, and forming healthy relationships. A lack of play can affect their ability to cope, to think flexibly, and to engage with learning in a meaningful way. I mean, would you build your dream house on wet sand? Of course not. So why build literacy and numeracy on stress, disinterest, and the soul-crushing sound of sit still and listen? Sure, there are days when they're off the charts, and we just want them to tone it down 10 decibels. I call those days maintenance. But that shouldn't be all day, every day. We need to shift the narrative, because play isn't wasting time. It's building life skills, brain skills, language, literacy, and numeracy, all beautifully disguised in laughter, fun, and imagination. Okay, so I'll drop the rant now, and I'll step off the podium, but don't worry, it's on wheels, just in case somebody says, but when do they do the real work? I'll jump back on there and let them know. They already have. They're just clever enough to disguise it as play. Let's keep advocating for fun, intentional, curiosity-driven play in the early years settings. Because it starts with us. And when we value play, we value childhood. And that's something worth fighting for. Thanks for tuning in to Early Years Explorers. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a fellow educator, caregivers, parents, or that one person who still thinks play isn't learning. And don't forget to follow and leave a review. Until next time, keep playing, keep learning, and keep supporting the magic of early childhood.